Central Virginia's longest-running high school academic quiz show. Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan. And now, host Cheryl Miller.
Hello and good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here for Battle of the Brains. I'm Cheryl Miller. As with a lot of things these days, we have had to make some changes to the way our academic challenge is played due to the pandemic situation. Our competition still welcomes teams from schools all across the Commonwealth of Virginia. Joining us remotely, today's teams are the Knights of Cave Spring High School, coached by Tamara Carson. Cave Spring High School is in the Roanoke County School District. The public secondary school has an enrollment of about 1,000 students. Also with us remotely today, the Mavericks of Douglas Freeman High School, coached by Matt Scott. Freeman High School is in Henrico County, a suburb just west of the city of Richmond. The school houses the Center for Leadership, Government, and Global Economics. And it's so good to have all of these students here with us remotely today, and congratulations to them for making it to round 2 of our competition. Now, because we can't all be together, here is how our game has changed. We will have toss-up rounds, but questions will be directed to each student and will alternate between teams. And there will be no point deduction for incorrect answers. Okay, students, good to have you here. Let's start with our first toss-up round. Our first question goes to Cave Spring High School, and Scott, you get the first question of the game. The visible range of rays in the electromagnetic spectrum are between ultraviolet and what other type?
Microwave.
That would be infrared. All right, Freeman, Geo, how many meters are in a kilometer?
1,000 meters are in a kilometer.
That is correct. Cave Spring, Bennett, in a standard deck of playing cards, which is the only king who does not have a mustache?
Hearts.
That is correct. All right, Freeman, Joseph. In the form of radio transmission known as FM, the M stands for modulation. What does the F represent?
Frequency.
That is correct. Cave Spring, Weston. Alas, says Hamlet, I knew him, Horatio. Whose skull is Shakespeare's Hamlet holding when he speaks these lines?
Yorick.
Yorick is correct. Freeman, Kieran. What current Netflix series shares its name with a classic opening chess move?
Queen's Gambit.
That is correct. Cave Spring, Sophia. This country's largest city and capital city is Tirana. Located on the eastern shore of the Adriatic Sea, name this country that is alphabetically second in a list of countries of the world.
Bosnia.
That would be Albania, comes right after Afghanistan. Freeman, Lily. Which one of golf's 4 major tournaments is played outside the United States?
Wimbledon.
That would be the British Open. Cave Spring, Scott. Zildjian, Paisti, and Zabian are brands of what type of percussion instrument?
Drum.
They're actually the cymbals. Freeman, Geo. This body of water forms part of the boundary between the U.S. and Canada. Name this second largest of the Great Lakes.
Ontario.
That would be Huron. Cave Spring, Bennett. What word describes both an ornamental wall tablet, often an award or commemoration, and a thin, sticky deposit on the surface of a tooth?
A plaque.
Plaque is correct. Freeman, Joseph. As First Lady, Virginian Edith Bowling Galt acted as steward of which U.S. president's administration after he suffered a debilitating stroke?
Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson is correct. Cave Spring, Weston. King Aestes of Colchis pursued Jason and Medea after the Argonauts stole what mythical sheepskin?
The Golden Fleece.
Golden Fleece is correct. Freeman, Kieran. The amino acid tryptophan, the element tungsten, and the SI unit of power are all abbreviated by which letter of the alphabet?
S.
That would be W. Cave Spring, Sophia. If you were in a restaurant in Madrid, Spain, and you ordered huevos, what would you be ordering?
Eggs.
Eggs is correct. Freeman, Lily. Located in the Campo dei Miracoli, this structure stands 117 feet tall, has 294 steps to the top, and is 17 feet off center. Name this famous Italian landmark.
The Tower of Pisa.
Tower of Pisa is correct. Cave Spring, Scott. Pencil and paper may be necessary for this. Solve for the value of x. Negative 15 plus negative 5x equals 0.
3. X equals 3.
That is incorrect. It's negative 3. And that buzzer means the end of our first toss-up round. A good job by our team so far, but we've got a lot more questions to go. Up next, we'll meet today's players, and then they'll take on the category round. So stay right here for more Battle of the Brains.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
And here are the scores following the first toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains. Cave Spring High School, 50 points. Douglas Freeman High School, 50 points. A tie score so far. We'll get back to our match in just a moment, but we want you to meet our players today. Let's start by introducing you to our team from Cave Spring High School. They're out of Roanoke. The Knights are coached by Tamara Carson. Our first player is Scott Rose. Scott is a senior. He's been participating in the academic team for the school for 5 years now. He likes to read and play video games with his friends. He also enjoys playing Dungeons and Dragons on the weekends. Next up is the team captain, Bennett Snyder. Bennett is a senior. This is his 5th year on academic team. He's a camp counselor. He's also a member of the French club. He enjoys watching movies in his free time, and he likes to study history in his free time as well. Next up is Weston Collop, who is founder and leader of the Dungeons and Dragons Club. He's also a member of the Chess Club. And wrapping up our team is Sophia Shoemaker, who is a sophomore, and she is on the school's cross-country team. She enjoys reading and painting in her free time. That is our team from Cave Spring High School. Good to have you joining us virtually from Roanoke today. Now let's meet our team from Douglas Freeman High School. They are, of course, the defending 2-time champions here on Battle of the Brains. First up is Gio Matseo, who is a junior. He's involved in a few clubs. He says he's in the Model UN team, the History, and the Human Rights Club. He runs track, and he also enjoys debate and science. Our team captain is Joseph Chambers, who is a junior. In his spare time, he does word and logic puzzles. He likes to keep up with UVA sports. He's also a musician. He plays baritone sax in the marching band and wind ensemble, and tenor sax in the jazz band at the school. He's also in Model UN and vice president of the Freeman Young Democrats. Next up is Kieran Wall, who is a junior. He's in the Center for Leadership at Freeman. He's a competitive rock climber. He's a writer on the school's newspaper. He enjoys hiking and amateur astronomy in his free time. And wrapping up our team is Lily Morris. Lily is a sophomore. She wants to study linguistics and education and teach internationally. She currently dances at Richmond Dance Center and plays violin for the Advanced Orchestra at Freeman. That is our team from Freeman High School. Good to have you here with us as well. Now to our category round, where each team will select one 10-question category from today's choices. If a team gets all of its questions correct in the allotted time, they will receive a 20-point bonus. Teams here at today's categories you may choose from: civil rights personalities and events, musical numbers, and presidential losers. And we do note that in this round, only the captains can officially answer for the team, though they may confer with their teammates to try to come up with the correct answer. And per the game rules, the high scorer gets first choice of category. In the event of a tie, which we have right now, the team that got the last correct answer will go first. That is Douglas Freeman High School. So Joseph, quickly talk it over with your teammates and let me know what category you would like to play.
Ooh, I feel good about musical numbers or presidential losers. And
Yeah.
preferences from the two of you.
We've got two music people here, so
Yeah, let's go with musical numbers.
Yeah,
Okay,
musical, yeah.
musical numbers. We'll take musical numbers.
All right, give the numbers related to these clues about music. The first is keys on a standard piano.
No, 88. The answer is 88.
Correct. Lines on a musical staff.
5. The answer is 5.
Correct. Numbered symphonies composed by Beethoven.
That's 9.
9.
The answer is 9.
9.
9 is correct. Beats per measure in a waltz.
That's 3.
3, 4.
The answer is 3.
Correct. Minimum number of notes in a chord.
Well, 3. It's got to be a triad.
3.
The answer is 3.
It's a chord.
Correct. Sharps in the key of A major.
3.
It's 3. The answer is 3.
Correct. Valves on a standard trumpet.
That's also 3. The answer is 3.
Correct. Number of violins in a typical string quartet.
2.
2.
The answer is 2.
Correct. Number of strings on a typical acoustic guitar.
6. The answer is 6.
Correct. And finally, number of beats in a dotted half note in 4/4 time.
1.5. The
Yes.
answer is 1.5.
It's actually 3 beats.
Oh.
Got it half. Oh my God.
All right,
Half
but you know
note.
your music. You've got musicians on your team. That's a great thing. All right, let's go to Cave Spring High School. Your category will either be civil rights personalities and events or presidential losers. Bennett, talk it over with your team quickly. Let me know what you'd like to play.
I'm thinking presidential losers. Bennett, you'd be good at that.
With
Yeah,
that.
me too.
Yeah.
Presidential losers.
All right, who was the presidential candidate of the losing party in each of the following years? The first is 2000.
Al Gore.
That
Our
is-
answer is Al Gore.
That is correct. 1960.
Richard Nixon is our answer.
Correct. 1992.
George H.W. Bush is our answer.
Correct. 1980.
Jimmy Carter is our answer.
Correct. 2016.
Hillary Clinton is our answer.
Correct. 2008.
John McCain is our answer.
Correct. 2020.
Donald Trump is our answer.
Correct. 2004.
John Kerry is our answer.
Correct. 1948.
Thomas Dewey is our answer.
Correct. And finally, 2012.
Mitt Romney is our answer.
That is correct. And a sweep of the category, a 20-point bonus for the team from Cave Spring High School. A good job with the category round teams. And up next, we'll have another toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores following the category round here on Battle of the Brains. Cave Spring High School with 120 points, Douglas Freeman High School with 95 points. And now it's time for another toss-up round. And again, our questions for this modified virtual Battle of the Brains match are being directed to individual players, and we're alternating between the teams. There is no interrupting and no point deductions for an incorrect answer. We're starting this toss-up round with Freeman High School's team, and Gio, you get the first question. Montpelier is the home of James and Dolly Madison, located in Orange County, Virginia. Spell Montpelier.
Montpelier.
That is incorrect. I think you added an extra E. It's Montpelier, Montpelier. Cave Spring, over to you and Bennett. At 730 square miles, this body of water would cover half the state of Rhode Island. Name this Florida lake that is called the Big O.
Okeechobee.
That is correct, Lake Okeechobee. Freeman, Joseph. Only 2 people signed the first published version of the Declaration of Independence. One was Charles Thompson, the Secretary of the Second Continental Congress. Who was the other prominent signer, the man who was the presiding officer?
George Washington.
It would be John Hancock. Cave Spring, Weston. In 1940, author Theodore Geisel published his first bestseller, Horton Hatches the Egg. By what name is Geisel better known?
Dr. Seuss.
That is correct. Freeman, Kieran. By the Treaty of Tordesillas in 1494, the Pope divided the unknown world between what 2 maritime powers?
Spain and Portugal.
That is correct. Cave Spring, Sophia. Basalt and pumice are examples of what type of rock that forms when magma cools and solidifies?
Igneous.
Igneous rock is correct. Freeman, Lily. Guitarist and composer Eddie Van Halen passed away in the fall of 2020. Name any of the lead singers in Van Halen's eponymous band over the years. They were David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar, and Gary Cherone. All right, Cave Spring, Scott. In chemistry, what is the energy process that forms heavier nuclei, the opposite of fission?
Fusion.
Fusion is correct. Freeman, Geo. In the Marvel Comics, which Avenger can manipulate his molecular density at will?
Mr. Fantastic.
That would be the Vision. Cave Spring, Bennett. This first item in the Charles Messier catalog of celestial objects dates back to 1054 and is named for the crustacean it was once thought to resemble. Name this supernova remnant.
Or what is the Crab Nebula?
Crab Nebula is correct. Freeman, Joseph. This NFL team got its name because of its stadium's proximity to an airport. Name the only pro football team named for a type of man-made transportation.
The Jets.
That is correct, the New York Jets. Cave Spring, Weston. What is the more common name for the U.S. National Railroad Passenger Corporation? And that would be Amtrak. Kieran, Freeman. On the Beaufort scale, what is the four-letter name for the type of wind with speeds of 34 to 40 knots?
Gale.
Gale force is correct. Cave Spring, Sophia, you may need your pencil and paper for this one. What is the smallest of four consecutive numbers if the sum is 226? That would be 55. Freeman. We'll come back to Lily when we start the next toss-up round, which is just ahead, and we'll also have today's winner here on Battle of the Brains. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores as we head now into the final round here on Battle of the Brains. Cave Spring High School with 170 points, Douglas Freeman High School with 125 points. And in this final toss-up round, the point score for a correct answer is doubled. There is no deduction for an incorrect answer. And again, in this virtual version of Battle of the Brains, we will direct questions to individual students and we're alternating between teams. All right, we're going to start this final toss-up round with a question to Freeman High School. Lily, you get the first question. It is the energy in a system that cannot do work. What is this term associated with the second law of thermodynamics, that is the measure of a system's disorder?
And
And that would be entropy. Cave Spring, Scott. Native to Africa, name the fastest mammal on land, capable of speeds up to 80 miles per hour.
Jaguar.
That would be the cheetah. Freeman, Geo. In 1947, what president of the United States announced a doctrine that called for $400 million of aid to Greece and Turkey?
That'd be Truman.
That would be Harry S. Truman, correct. All right, Cave Spring, Bennett. What is the term that is the measure of the total value of production of goods and services in the United States for 1 year?
Budget.
That would be the gross domestic product. Freeman, Joseph. Home to the Johnson Space Center, what is the most populous city in Texas?
Houston.
That is correct. Cave Spring, Weston. On November 11th, 1620, a covenant was signed by 41 Plymouth settlers establishing a civil body politic in their new home. Name this 200-word declaration which some historians regard as the beginning of constitutional government in America.
The Mayflower Compact.
That is correct. Freeman, Karen. What city is the capital of Alaska?
Anchorage.
That would be Juneau. Cave Spring, Sophia. Spell Juneau.
Juneau.
That is correct. Freeman, Lily. In the 7th century BC, it conquered neighboring Messenia, forcing its people into slavery. Name this militaristic city-state and rival of Athens during the Peloponnesian War.
Sparta.
Sparta is correct. Cave Spring, Scott. What Anglican first name was given to Pocahontas when she converted to Christianity?
Rebecca.
Rebecca is correct. Freeman, Geo. Patrick Mahomes plays quarterback for which Midwestern NFL team?
That's the Kansas City Chiefs.
That is correct. Cave Spring, Bennett. The Secret Service gave him the code name Timberwolf. Name this president of the United States, a World War II pilot who also had a son who was also president.
George H.W. Bush.
That is correct. Freeman, Joseph. Known for his red hair and gap-toothed smile, who is the longtime face of Mad magazine?
What me work? Elmer Fudd.
His name is Alfred E. Newman. Cave Spring, Weston. The expression Pyrrhic victory is derived from the name for Pyrrhus, a general in world history whose victories proved very costly. Against what army did Pyrrhus fight these costly battles?
Rome.
That is correct, the Roman army. Freeman, Kieran. A famous song about the rains of Africa was by what band that shares a name with a famous fictional dog who went over the rainbow?
Toto.
That is correct. Sophia, Cave Spring. Lady with an Ermine and Madonna on the Rocks are among the works of what Italian Renaissance painter of The Last Supper and the Mona Lisa?
Da Vinci.
That is correct, Leonardo da Vinci. Freeman. And we will not get to that last question because it is our last question. While our judges double check the final score, we do want to remind you how to stay connected with us here at Battle of the Brains. To find out more about our show, just log on to battleofthebrains.net. You'll also find Battle of the Brains on Facebook and full episodes of our show on our YouTube page. And as we continue round 2 of this season of Battle of the Brains, join us next week when we virtually welcome teams from Clover Hill High School of Midlothian and Dinwiddie High School in Dinwiddie County. And now here's the final score for today's match, determining which team will continue on to the next round in this season's competition. Our team from Douglas Freeman High School ends the match with 225 points. A great job today by Geo, Joseph, Kieran, and Lily. Our champions today, Cave Spring High School, the team going on to the next round, Scott, Bennett, Weston, and Sophia. Congratulations. We'll see you soon. I'm Cheryl Miller. Thanks for watching and playing along here on Battle of the Brains. We'll see you back here next Saturday morning. Great job, teams. Good to see you.
Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.